Hey, folks. So I'm going to give it a second for you guys to get in here. I will tell you that Gerald Sensabaugh is with me this evening. He is waiting in the wings. He will be joining me to have this conversation. I already let him know I was going to be setting this conversation up, and as to why it's so important to me, why it's important, why I think that he should not be supporting Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance. And why I think these things are super important as people, as prominent members of the community. If you are someone that people look to and they value your opinion, then I think that this is something that you got to be aware of. And we can't just be single issue voters. Like I can't endorse a candidate because I like one thing about them, or I don't like, one thing about them. It has to be a multitude of things. And so hey, WJ, I'm good. So I'm going to let you guys get in here. Hold on. Let me put this on my page. And so that everybody is ready to go. And let me just say this. I want y'all know how I do. We got to be respectful in this conversation. What's up, Teresa? How are you? So that everybody is good to go. There we go. I've shared it. I've done my due diligence. I'm good. And once you guys get in here, I want to talk about several things tonight. And I want to start this conversation by setting the tone for this conversation around Mark Vance. Okay. So I make no bones about the fact. What's up, Tina? How are you? I make no bones of the fact I do not like, support, or endorse Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance. And I'm going to share with you specifically why I do not. And there are several reasons. But the first real run-in that I had, hey, what's up, Almighty? And my experience of Mark Vance in this way was in the summer of 2020. So if you all remember, in the summer of 2020, we had Ahmaud Arbery happening, right? We had the testimony happening, I believe it was June 4th, from the GBI officers and the police in reference to that trial to see if these men were going to be indicted for hunting down and murdering Ahmaud Arbery. And I was talking about that, and I was doing lives about those things, and I was sharing video. And right now, what we currently have happening is the federal hate crimes. That trial is currently happening. And this is one of the videos. I'm going to play for you a video that's relevant for two reasons. I had played this video earlier in June, and it was part of the conversation around racism, white supremacy, like what we were seeing happening in this trial and what needs to happen. And okay, let me make sure I'm good. And then this other thing happened with Mark. So let me share for you all first this brief clip. And this is actually of the GBI investigator, Officer Dial, in his grand jury testimony in referencing the Ahmaud Arbery case. And then I'm going to share with you what this led up to, why it's relevant. And it's also relevant because the case is currently happening right now, in which the defense is saying, no, it's not racist. Race is not playing a role. So let me play this for you very quickly. And then we're going to keep moving through this sequence of events. And then I'm going to bring Gerald on. Okay. And this is Officer Dial's testimony, June 4th, 2020. This is not quite 3 weeks before my interaction with Mark Vance that I think is very, very relevant, and why I needed to have a conversation with Gerald about this. So first of all, let me just play this clip.
The last thing that I think I need to talk to you about, well, the last couple things, this is going to involve an uncomfortable conversation, and you and I have talked about this a couple of times. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, we have.
You know that I want to ask you about a particular quote that Travis McMichael stated on the crime scene that was overheard by one of the defendants and shared with investigators prior to police arriving, correct?
That's correct, yes, sir.
And though this may be an uncomfortable conversation for the benefit of the court and for the record, we're making it clear that this is not your quote, it's not the GBI's quote. This is a quote from a statement of Mr. Bryan as to what he heard Travis McMichael say prior to police arriving, correct?
Very much so, yes, sir.
Understanding that and understanding that it might be a little uncomfortable to talk about the words because it involves a curse word and something else, I need to ask you about that quote. Can you please articulate for the court what Mr. Bryan said he heard Travis McMichael say prior to police arriving and after the fatal shooting?
Yes, Mr. Bryan said that after the shooting took place, before police arrival, while Mr. Aubrey was on the ground, that he heard Travis Michael make the statement, "fucking nigger."
So this is the video that I played for you guys, and I posted it back in June. And this is one of several videos that were taking place and conversations that were taking place around white supremacy, around the fact that these men could hunt down a black man in the streets and not be arrested on the spot. And it ended up with activist Sean King, hey, Mindy, Sean King saying, hey, listen, while we're talking about white supremacy, right, while we're talking about removing statues and while we're talking about changing things, well, these white pictures, these pictures and these images, especially in our state capitals and buildings that promote Jesus as being white and is being used as a form of white supremacy, they should come down. Well, that prompted Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance to put up a post on his page. And I'm gonna, hey, what's up, Ron? And so I'm gonna walk you through this, and I told Gerald said, well, I don't really know Mark either. And I said, well, I'm about to educate you. Let me share with you who you are backing, sir. Because listen, Danny is all for the kids. Y'all see me with my grandbabies. Ask the early college high school students in Charlotte, North Carolina that I would come and I would do seminars and workshop with. I am for the babies all day. And I am not for misogyny. I am not for racism. I am not for calling women dumbasses. I am not. And so the next clip that I want to play for you before I show you these screenshots is after this all went down. Well, no, let me give you the screenshots first. So, Gerald, I want you to pay attention. This is your boy right here. So Mark Vance had put up a statement. Let me just show you first. And it said, making any comment about this socialist agenda will create tension and controversy. But when they want to remove statues, pictures of Jesus, and claiming white supremacy is wrong, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, let the war begin, 2 exclamation points. Now, when Mark posted that, y'all know me, your girl took her screenshots and I posted them up and I was like, what the heck? Right? But before I did that, I was really nice. I gave him the opportunity to correct it. So let me explain what happened. That was sent to my inbox at 8:05 the next morning. So Mark posted that at 10:18 on Monday, June 23rd. On June 24th, on 22nd is when he posted it. He posted it on the 22nd, the same day that Sean King posted his remarks. And so on the 23rd at 8:05, I sent him a message because it was waiting for me in my inbox. Several people sent me screenshots of this and they were like, isn't he a county commissioner? Why would he feel comfortable posting this? So at 8:05, I sent Mark a message via Facebook Messenger and I sent him a text message at 8:11. And this is what I said. I said, good morning, Mark. Someone brought your post to my attention this morning and I wanted to reach out directly. As a county commissioner, why do you feel like making a statement like let the war begin is appropriate and in the best interest of the community/nation? According to his iPhone, he read my text at 8:24 that morning. He did not respond to me. He did not acknowledge my question. I checked his Facebook page after that, right? And he had not taken it down, nor had he edited it. And what's important to know is that the night that he posted it, several of his friends, including Sullivan County Commissioner Angie Stanley, commented. And they said, hey, Mark, I don't know if this is what you meant to say. Now, I'm just going to ask y'all the same question I asked Gerald, and I'm going to let him tell y'all his answer here in just a second. If you put up a Facebook post that sounded like you were a white supremacist or that you were defending white supremacy or you were racist at all. And your friends were like, hey, I think you missed a comma or some punctuation, or you might want to explain what you meant. Would you leave it up for an additional 12 hours? Because to me, if I didn't want you to think I was racist, I wouldn't leave up a racist looking post for 12 hours unless I wanted someone to think I was racist. That's just me. So after that, Mark tagged me after the Tennessee Holler. Tina said, white racist male. Yes. So after the Tennessee Holler, shared the screenshots, right? Because after that, listen, if I gave you 5 hours and you ain't fixed it and you haven't responded, then you just get what you get. So the Tennessee Holler posted everything, and that is when Mark went back and edited that statement. Now, before I go through the rest of this, I'm going to bring Gerald on, and we're going to watch this next segment together. Okay. So, Gerald, let me ask you this. Look, you smiling because you already know. Because you already know how I get down.
You do your homework. I'll be throwing stuff out there.
You're damn right. Because here's the thing. We can disagree on baby things. We can't disagree on basic humanity, right? And
Yes, ma'am.
and the way that you should be representing things. And so, and I'm gonna be honest, right? If you so like, first of all, there's a portion of the Sensabaughs that I go way, way back with that are near and dear to me. You and I never knew each other, but Aunt Betty, Miss Shirley, Flip, the rest of the Sensabaughs, those are like my family. Yeah, the Bristol Sensabaugh are my family, so Miss Shirley was my godmother. So like it or not, I'm going to extra check you. I'm going to extra check you.
I love it. I love it.
I feel like, so here's what happened. So after all this went down, Mark tagged me. There was a video. This is the other thing, like double down. Tell me you're racist without saying you're racist. So then he posted a video, and I can't get it anymore because A, he's blocked me. And B, it was on his page, not mine. But he posted a video of a black woman, a black preacher woman. And when she's preaching, she says something to the effect of, well, I'm not a black woman first. I'm a Christian first, right? If I have to choose like how I'm going to be identified, I'm going to be identified as a Christian. And my thing is, well, when people meet your black ass on the street, they don't know you're a Christian, right? So you got to lead with what people know. And when Mark posted it, he tagged me in it. And he said, Danny Cook, you need to listen to this. Oh, I do? Okay. So then what happened is there was this exchange that took place on that video. And of course, I knew I wouldn't have access to the video because it's on Mark's page. So what do you think I did? I grabbed them damn screenshots, of course.
Get your evidence for sure.
The receipts are always going to be there. So here's what happened. He went back and edited that original comment. And this is what he said. Making any comment about the socialist agenda will create tension and controversy, period. But when they want to remove statues, pictures of Jesus, and claiming these statues and pictures of Jesus is in a support of white supremacy, it's wrong. That's what he said. And I screenshotted his edited version, and I said, I commented underneath him, and I said, Facebook has this thing called view edit history. Here's what you really said and what you changed it to after it was put on social media around lunchtime today. But you put the post up at 10:18 that night. So then he came back and said, Danny Cook, I didn't know you were editor or Facebook police. I was private messaged last night and I explained to them my thoughts. I have been busy today and hadn't had a lot of time to correct this. Well, it didn't take a lot of damn time to correct it, right? And you had 13 hours to correct it from 10:18 the night before until 11 something when you got put on blast. That's how long you had, but you didn't correct it. So I'm going to keep going. So then the second part was, he said, this is my edited version. I understand my original comment was misleading. And then he said, so you run with it however you like. And I said, I'm not running with shit. And you know it. Mark, you saw my message at 8:24 this a.m. and you chose not to respond to my question. You didn't care until I shared the post by the Tennessee Holler. So Mark Vance says, I don't care who you want to stir controversy with. I was busy when I got your message at 8:24. And then I said, Mark, you had time to put up another Facebook post and edit the old one. You could have texted me in that time and said, I'm busy, but can get with you later, right? That would have taken 2 seconds. But when I shared your post, you could magically get unbusy and ring my phone, because that's what happened. He called me and I was like, fuck, I ain't answering your call now. So I didn't, right? So here we go. Yeah, it's too late. So then here's the other part. So then he goes, okay, I may have failed in that. I apologize, but this world of hatred must stop. See, this is what they do. This is what, and when I say they, y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who say racist things, right? They say racist sounding things. And then when they get called on it, then it's, oh, well, this world of hatred must stop. Unity must happen. You just called for war. You just said, let the war begin. And now you want to talk about this world of hatred must stop. You better get out of here. It's bullshit. And I'm going to call a thing a thing. So then he says, not for me, but for my grandkids. So, you know, this is the other thing that happens, right? Now you want to parade your biracial grandchildren out as if that's your pass all of a sudden. And so I'm extra sensitive to that, being biracial. I said, Mark, don't do that. Don't bring your grandkids into this. In the last 4 to 6 weeks, in the midst of the Black and brown lives being murdered, you haven't posted a single image of them or talked about the need to get rid of racism. So don't bring them up when it's convenient. And then this was his response to me, Gerald. Is it true that you're for killing babies and for the Muslim community?
What? Is that what? Oh,
yep.
God.
Is it true that you're for? So this was their favorite line for me when they didn't like me. It was that I'm for killing babies and that I'm for the Muslim community.
Why? Where is the Muslim community? Where are they getting?
So let me tell you where that came from. That came from another racist man. So Danny Collier, crazy self over there in Kingsport, he had come out to the protest like early on when we were first outside of Holston Valley. And we were all sitting around having conversations about intolerance and misunderstandings and race and all these things. And I said to Danny Collier, I said, listen, I said, I do not advocate extremism, right? But there are extreme Christians just like there are extreme Muslims. And I said, then I can understand why Muslims in their country don't like us. I said, because imagine if you lived in the Middle East and your whole life you had grown up with war and conflict all around you. And every day, 5 times a day, you pray to Allah for you and to your family. And all of a sudden, white people come to your country and tell you you're praying to the wrong God and you're going to hell for it. Wouldn't you be mad too?
Yes, ma'am, for sure.
So that is where this came from. I had that conversation with Danny Collier. And when Danny Collier got mad at me, he went to all his buddies and listen, they made memes about me. There were college students at ETSU. Wonder how that happened. College boys at ETSU made memes with my picture and said I was for killing babies and for Muslims. Those two things. And that's where it all started from. But so follow me. When Mark said this to me, I popped up and I said, laughing my ass off, huh? And then he said, my grandkids isn't any of your business to even mention their names in your post. They will learn to love everyone and love to worship Jesus, but they won't be taught. He can't type. It was supposed to be won't. He said want. They won't be taught to burn down buildings and create hate in the same way they will not tolerate being disrespected. And I said, Mark, you brought up your grandkids because you know what he did before he mentioned them right here in this post? He sent me a text with pictures of his biracial grandbabies. And he
trying to justify it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I told him. So all of this went down. And then that is when I said, this is an individual who cannot represent people, especially not women and not people of color. Right. And I will be very transparent and tell you that's why your endorsement pissed me off. Because I was like, for real? This is what we're going to do, Gerald? Right? This is what we're going to do?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
because
understand
you
100.
clearly
I
get
feel
it,
you.
right? But now I want you to see, because WCYB reached out to me after all of this went down in June. And they did, this actually was their top story. And so I'm going to play that clip and I'm going to let you see it.
County Commissioner Mark Vance once again under fire for a post on his personal Facebook page. Some view it as promoting white supremacy. News 5's Jarvis Heron joining us live from outside the old courthouse in Blountville after talking with the commissioner, who is now clarifying his remarks.
He's clarifying his remarks now.
Yeah, Julie, it's not the first time Mark Vance has made controversial comments on Facebook. Just 2 years ago, he caught the attention of people for his comments about women's marches. This time, people believe he's promoting white supremacy. In a time of racial division, Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance is under scrutiny again.
Basically, there was a comment that I posted on Facebook that was probably not described exactly what the original intent of the comment should have been.
Vance referring to his comments about a Black Lives Matter activist calling for the removal of statues depicting Jesus as white, which the activist claimed as a form of white supremacy. Vance said on Facebook, "This was wrong," and indicated the war should begin.
Right.
I hope not anyone.
So wait, let me just stop right there. Because if what we're talking about is race and you say, let the war begin, does it sound like you're calling for a race war? Gerald,
That's what it sounds like to me, 100%.
Okay, I'm just checking, because to me, if what we are talking about is race and white supremacy, and your response is let the war begin, it sounds like you're calling for a race war.
Yeah,
So,
you're endorsing it. Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So this is what I had to say.
I would
Here
hope
we go.
not anyone, but especially as an elected official, that would not be the sentiment that we would want to create.
Vance later went back and edited the post and claims he misspoke.
That was not the intent. I went back and corrected it. If someone took me wrong, I
your shoes off, Jim?
apologize. But I
Your
will
feet
stand
stink.
strong with Jesus because I love him.
It's not the first time Vance has made controversial remarks on Facebook. 2 years ago, you called women marching in the Women's March.
So they bleeped it out. But 2 years ago, what he called women in the Women's March was dumbasses. So you need to understand, Gerald, that if your daughter or your wife they decide that they want to and they want to exercise their constitutional right to protest, right? Mark Vance calls them dumbasses. The statements on his social media actually said he was glad he married his wife, who is an intelligent woman. So here goes the rest. And then we're going to be done.
Recent history.
Most people that know me that I'm a loving and caring person. I don't intentionally try to offend people, but my beliefs are strong. My character and my morality is strong.
Danny Cook has become known as an outspoken critic of the Ballard merger and led a sit-in at the Kingsport Hospital for months. She's not the only critic of Vance, but she's calling for his removal from office.
Sure did.
When people show you who they are, believe them. And I believe who he is showing me to be.
So that's what I had to say. When people show you who you are, believe them, and I believe who he is showing me to be. And I don't mince my words about that. We're not having a disagreement over something simple, right? When he thinks that the protests that were happening, and let me just say this, I said this at the time and I will say it again now. I do not condone burning down buildings or any of that. And I understand why the frustration level has reached the point that it did, that those things happen. Black and brown folk don't just run out and burn up shit every time something happens. But we literally had watched a man die with a white knee on his neck for damn near 9 minutes after watching Ahmaud Arbery be hunted down like an animal in a neighborhood and murdered. So for me, while I personally might not go out and burn some shit up, I get why there are some people that are like, listen, y'all don't listen until we affect your money. So the way that we're going to affect your money is to tear up your stuff. I don't get down like that. Y'all saw me lead a peaceful protest for what? Damn near 300 days. I don't do it like that, but I can understand why other people got there. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you, Gerald,
Yes, ma'am.
do you still endorse Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance for mayor?
I mean, let me just clarify kind of how I run my page, and then it could kind of further get into that. A lot of my page is educational for me as well. Like I'm not very political savvy. I admit that I don't really follow it like that. So I just throw things out there on a whim, just day to day. I'm just throwing my ideas out there. Just however it comes about, I throw it out there. And what I like to do is learn from my page. So I follow your page. You're very knowledgeable about things. And I love when you interact with me or whenever you check me all the time and we may check each other. So this is an educational process. At the time of me doing this, I wasn't really thinking about all this in the past. I was just so happy to see, hundreds of kids showing up at Westridge for a football event. And I know that this guy always calls me about kids, and he's always trying to blow up the CT East issue, the CT building over there at Westridge, and he always is talking about the kids. And I was just caught up in the moment, not thinking about all that. Now, with all these videos and stuff you're rehashing on, and I've seen it before, I know I have. I gotta retake that shit back. Honestly, there ain't no way that I'm gonna vote for him with that. And I'm glad that you called me out on this and brought me to the stage to brought me to this to talk about it. But one thing about our area is we don't have many people running for office, and there's nobody that's younger doing it. It's all a bunch of older people. So the older mindset is set in stone, and we do have racism here, and it's big. It runs rampant, and my thing is we don't have any choices. Nobody runs for political roles out here. It's all the good old boys.
That's the other part that I was saying. Local elections matter. So more people need to run. And like you said, you did hit me up and you were like, Danny, you want to run? And I'm like, no. And the reason why, so by the way, Teresa said, I personally appreciate your involvement with our youth, Gerald Sensabaugh. So Mindy B, he did run a while back. Gerald did run a while back. But he hasn't run since. But so here's my thing, right? I agree that more people need to run. I also agree. So like I've had people ask me, well, who? And I'm going to tell you right now, y'all don't have any good candidates for Sullivan County mayor, in my opinion. And I will tell you this because people brought up Angie Stanley. People know that Angie Stanley and I were tight during the protest against ballot, and we were. They also know Angie disappeared when I started talking about racism, right?
I mean, she kind of did me the same way. Angie's kind of one of the ones that started me out in politics. So, like basically how my page started was it was stemming from the Crockett ordeal. Then I had these Drain the Sullivan County swamp people coming out there to David Crockett, protesting for me. It was Todd Broughton. And then it just stemmed from there. And then, I was meeting Angie in her shop. She's giving me all these things. And basically it was more so like she was ghostwriting for, just political. And I was just like, here, I'll use my platform. Just give me what you want. I'll throw it out there. And then we'll just see what happens. And I mean, she's bringing up all kinds of craziness. Once again, as elections come, as I become trying to get really involved, I don't see from her anymore.
Yeah.
So I haven't talked to Angie probably in a couple years since I ran. I don't even talk to her no more.
Yeah.
Mark Vance is the only one that reaches out to me. And then the other guy we have is Richard Venable. I can't say that he's a bad guy, but Venable is not really in tune with the community like that. He's not just around like that. So
I agree. And
from my understanding, we only have those three candidates to go for.
Yeah.
I'm damn sure not going for Richard. I really don't want to vote for Angie. And the next guy was Mark Vance, and he's the only one that reaches out to me.
So here's let me say this. Okay. So, so one of the things,
they had me out there throwing the damn sheriff on blast. That ain't from me. I don't even know nothing about Wayne Anderson.
Yeah.
Shit, they had me. But Jeff is a cool dude. I like Jeff. Yeah. I like Jeff.
Yeah.
But like,
I haven't heard anything bad about Jeff. But here's what I will tell you. So like they think sometimes that I know sometimes when they bring me stories that it's for their benefit. Right. And I get that. And my whole thing is that if the story is important enough that the people need to know about it, then okay,
Yeah.
if you get a little something in return, cool, right? But I'll tell you another thing that for me, as both a woman and as a woman of color. So Angie on her campaign, you know me, I go and look at them damn campaign finances. I will go and check them out. And here's the thing, I don't even really like politics. Like, it's not my thing. That's why
it's not my thing either. The first person I ever voted for was myself. That's
now,
real shit. Like,
I vote, but here's the thing. I vote, but the thing about it is this, right? Politics doesn't bring me joy. Like, the things that literally bring me joy, honestly, is coaching work, is working with people in terms of, communication, conflict resolution, trauma healing.
Awesome.
Those are the things that I love to do. And I recognize the platform that I've been given, and I do not like to see people take advantage of poor people or sick people or what I call just simple people, right? I don't like it. So when I see it, like, if you're Mark Zuckerberg, I'm probably not going to say shit to you or about you because it's Facebook, right? But if you run a healthcare system, or if you're a politician and you have sought out a role that is supposed to be in public service, then I'm going to hold you accountable, period.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's where we are. And so when I looked at, first of all, and I told Angie this, so what I'm saying to you all right now is a conversation I had with Angie just several weeks ago. It was the first time I talked to her in over a year or so.
They get ghosts. They turn into ghosts.
Yes. So here's the deal. So I had this conversation and I was just real upfront. And I said, it matters to me that you dipped when the conversation became about race. It matters to me that you support Trump, who refuses to this day to apologize to the Central Park Five even after they're exonerated. It matters to me that you didn't support the ETSU basketball players kneeling. It matters to me. And it matters to me that out of her campaign money, she's got $100,000 in her account, right? And it matters to me that the first damn check she wrote was to the Tennessee GOP. That matters to me. Yeah, that matters to me. So when I look at it, like, as much as I'm not a fan of Richard Venable, he's like the least of the evils at this point. Because
he really is. I feel you.
Right? Like, that's how, I'm just keeping it real. Because
we need more energy. We need life. We need energy. We need somebody out there that's going to be out there, boots on, not just sitting behind a damn desk.
And here's the other thing we need. We need for you to, listen, somebody asks for your endorsement and you don't know, you better send me a damn message and be like, Danny, what you know about so-and-so, right? Because
it's so early in the process, Danny. I like to throw it out there and I can always retract it back.
Yeah,
like, I'm throwing it out there to
not everybody's
going
to see the retraction, right? Not everybody's
going to see it they're going to see it when they get closer to the election, so I can really hone in on somebody. Or the way it's sounding now, there's nobody to vote for that I would really vote for, honestly.
Right. There's nobody. But my thing is, you got to vote, right? So that it offsets whatever somebody else is doing. And I do not, let me just specify this. I do not know this part for a fact, although I heard it from multiple sources. My understanding is that the campaign, the people running Angie's campaign are the same people that ran Diana Harshberger's campaign. Now, I don't know if that's fact or not. I shot Angie a text and said, hey, I have some questions about your campaign. Hit me up. She ain't hit me back yet. I think she don't like the article that I wrote after our last conversation, but that's okay. Because I didn't say nothing in the article that I didn't say to you in person, because that's just the way I roll, right? I just get down like that. Because to me, if you go into politics, you're supposed to be a public servant, and you cannot be a public servant for all the people if you are bowing out of conversations for some people because they're uncomfortable for you. Period.
Man, it's a good old boy network, and they are strong.
And so
they are
here's
strong.
the thing: they are a dying breed.
But this is a retirement. This is a retirement area, so they're pushing all the young ones out, and it's just we have more people dying in Sullivan County than being born.
And
so the older people are going to always have control. The older generations are trying to hold on to that control. And we don't have anybody young and knowledgeable that's trying to fight against that.
let me ask you this. Have you taken a look at the babies being born in Sullivan County and in the surrounding areas?
I haven't recently, but I know that was a
what do a lot of
statistic.
them babies, what do a lot of them babies look like? What do a lot of them
White
babies
babies.
look like? You got some. You got babies looking like me, right? Like the
Yeah.
branding of America is real. I don't care what people say. It's a real deal. And a couple of things is going to have to happen, right? Either, because I'm a big believer that changing the systems isn't enough. You have to change the hearts and the minds of the people that create, modify, and uphold the systems. Period. And a perfect.
But our school systems aren't teaching that. They aren't teaching kids to be innovative. They're not teaching kids to think for themselves. They're just teaching them to go by the rules, and that's what our county is based on. Just people just going by the rules, and they are not accepting of change.
But here's whether they accept it or not, change is happening, change is coming, period. Right. And one of the ways that we do things. So like earlier, when you were like, you gave me a little bit of shit earlier. You were like, so what's your end game with all this pot stirring? And I was like, really? We gonna do that? Okay. So let me tell you what my end game is.
Yeah. What's the end game?
Yeah. So the end game is just what I said. The end game is changing the systems and the hearts and minds of the people, period. It's why I interviewed Coach Hahn. It's why I interviewed Kyla Janae Lacey. It is why he's coming to Atlanta. He is one of the first 6 episodes for my talk show that is being recorded. He and I had this conversation a while back, but here's what I love about Coach Hahn and I in our conversation.
We need a political voice, though. We need a political vote that goes against maybe what you're saying with ballot. That goes against these things. There's no voice in there.
Well, so here's my thing, right? So a lot of people will say to me that they supported me during ballot health. What you got? A lot of people will say to me,
signal a little bit.
Okay, cool, no worries.
Okay, we're good.
A lot of people will say to me that they supported me during ballot health, and here's the thing: it was great when people showed up to BMA meetings. It was great when people watched Facebook Lives, and the number of people that actually wrote and called their elected officials, the number of people that stayed in it, to the nitty gritty for 257 days. Listen, if 10,000 people would watch online, right? And there were some of my lives that literally had 40,000, 10,000, 8,000 views. Can you imagine had that same number of people come the fuck outside of Holston Valley Medical Center? Could you imagine what had happened if those people had all put boots on the ground and stood in it? What would happen if somebody actually led a march around the ETSU basketball players kneeling? What would happen if there was a massive strike when it comes to Coach Hahn? What would happen if everybody...
Our community isn't built like that. Can you hear me?
No,
our community, they don't think like that. They are scared. They have them hostage by, it could be jobs. It's so many people. I'm sure you get the same messages I do. They're just like, yo, I can't say this, but can you spread awareness about this? I know you get those, right?
All the time.
Yeah, I get the same thing. And it's just like, we have a bunch of people with no voice. So they look to us to talk about things. They look to us to just basically just put it out there. And that's what I'm trying to do. That's what you do. That's what we do. They call it stirring the pot. And yes, we stir the pot, but
listen, I told them today on my live, I don't know if you saw me on my live. I said, y'all want to call me a pot stirrer? Let me show you. I'm going to stir the hell, because listen, you have to.
It don't taste good unless it's stirred up.
Right. When you don't stir, imagine you cook it on the stove. You don't stir, what happens? Things stick to the bottom. They get burned. Half of it's cooked, half of it's raw. Ain't nothing done right? So the point is simply this, right? So more people have to start speaking out and calling people out. So like there are people right now, and I told Angie this, there were people that were out at Ballot Health's protest with me that voted for Diana Harshbarger, knowing that her husband went to prison for healthcare fraud. And she was the principal in his company. She was one of the officers. And his plea deal actually stipulated that she not be charged. So
I remember you posted that.
Yeah. So how do you sit outside with me protesting about healthcare and then take your ass and go vote for Diana Harshbarger? I got a problem with that. Like, I need you to not be talking out both sides of your neck. I really do. And so for me, it becomes about, okay, so how does this happen? Right? So this is when you got to organize. This is when organizing is the most effective thing that you can do. And so Gerald, I know politics ain't your thing. It ain't my thing either, right? And and people still look to see what you say. So
Yes,
with
ma'am.
that comes responsibility, right?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And so with that being said, right? This is what a friend of mine and I, we used to always say this. How do you know if something is your responsibility? If you have the ability to respond. That's how you know. If you have the ability to respond and you can respond effectively and your response is going to matter in the lives of other people, then it is in fact your responsibility. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes, ma'am.
this is my thing. You're out there with those kids. So number one, when you say we got more people dying than we have given birth to, yeah, but you got all them babies around you. You got all them
Hmm.
babies around you, and they watch what you do, what you say, and it's not about
But like
uh,
the kids don't watch this platform. Like these kids,
right,
they're not Facebookers, you know. So this platform is basically just targeting adults. It's not.
right,
It's all adults, and like I say, I use this platform to learn from adults that are probably more knowledgeable.
right.
And I just my whole thing was to provide a platform for people to just discuss it. Just give me whatever you want, and I'm gonna stir the pot, and y'all just go ahead and fix it. You cook it, you let it fall to the bottom, do what you do, and then it just started going from there. The people were like, "Run for mayor, run for office." For real? All right, well, damn, throw my name in the hat. I didn't even know what a county commissioner was. I've never been into
Gotcha.
politics. I came straight from Dallas and moved here, and then I went straight into fishing until
So,
I
and that's
started
the
seeing
thing.
issues.
So if you want to run again, then this is where you get real clear about. And if you don't want to run, so like I happen to know of someone who is supposed to be running um, in the Kingsport mayoral race, and this person has not announced that I'm aware of. But this person shot me a message and said, "Hey, I'm going to run." And this is somebody that I would be excited to see run, and I also want to have more conversations with. Um, I think it would definitely stir the damn pot. I can tell you that. Um, and I think this person
You,
might actually win.
you're not going to announce it, right? You won't say nothing, right?
Nah, I can't say nothing because this person hasn't given me permission to. So Malcolm Steller is asking Gerald, you ran for county mayor, and they're asking why not city mayor.
Why not city mayor? Um,
Mm-hmm.
well, me personally, I don't have enough support in the Kingsport city. It's just the people in the city are not supportive of me. Like when I ran for mayor of Sullivan County, it was 7,500 people. The county people are really aggressive. The good old boys, to me, the good old boys and girls club, it kind of stems from the city people. They
Yeah.
don't like
Well,
people like us that can challenge them, that have a following of people. Like your page reaches lots of people. My page reaches lots of people as well. And they don't like that. They don't like anybody holding them accountable, because what I learned about our area is we are so, they've done a good job of selling our area as this beautiful place, this really nice place. But
mm-hmm.
the product is trash. And that's why everybody leaves. You know,
Yeah, it's a
everybody's leaving because we can't put out the product is awful. And the people that recognize it, that aren't afraid, you know, like I'm
yeah.
just a
So let
stand-up
me tell you
person and
what
I'm
a lot
very
of
firm
people
in what I
say.
believe in. And then I,
A lot of people say if you don't like the area,
yeah, go ahead.
leave. And here's my thing. That's just like white people telling black people, if you don't like it here, go back to Africa. Let me just say something. Wherever you live, you have the right for that place to be a good place for you. So you don't get to tell
Yeah.
people. So like I said at the Reagan Day dinner, and I listened to Phil Rowe. I listened to Phil Rowe say that they wanted people from the north to come here because they'll buy more expensive property down here because they can get more bang for their buck than up north. And then he said this, we want them to bring their money, but leave their politics at home. So
yeah, the people from up north, they come from these bigger cities. Most of them are going to be Democrats coming out here. So
right, and they don't want that.
That's the crazy thing about our real estate market. They're bringing in people from California that just want to be cheap. But what it's going to do is, if enough of them get, aggressive enough, it's going to flip the politics upside down. And that's what I'm hoping for the area. Not that I'm Republican or Democrat, because I run as an independent, because I like to grab from both sides and just come up with my own deal. But they think that it's cool with all these California people moving in here and New York people moving in here. These people are Democrats. And if they really want to get aggressive enough and really want change, I have people that live in my neighborhood that are not even from this area. And they're just so pissed off because there's no restaurants. Yeah. They're pissed off because there's nowhere to eat. The fitness is terrible. There's nothing but just the same. There's too many freaking car washes. Like, what the hell are we building out here?
Y'all gonna have some clean cars. Y'all gonna have some clean cars. A greenway, some bicycle lanes down Stone Drive, but
I mean, there's nothing for the kids. Like, have you read? You should go through the Riverview community. They're building brand new pickleball courts. The only people that play pickleball are the elderly community for the most part.
So
there's nothing wrong with
that. Is that where Colette George lives in Riverview? Where does she live?
No, Riverview is where the Douglas High School used to be.
Okay, no. Okay, see, Ridgefield. That's. No, I'm saying that's what I was thinking. You said Riverview.
No, this is the old black community. The old black community is being run by a bunch of pickleball players.
Yeah, so I know where you're talking about now. But when you first said it, for some reason, my brain was thinking Ridgefields, and I was like, the only time I was up in there was at Colette's mama's house. But anyway, no, I've been over in Riverview. And so let me just say, because there's lots of comments happening. So first of all, somebody asked me. I
can't see the comments, so if anybody's asking comments for me, just let me know. I can't see the comments on mine.
So one of the things that someone asked me to repeat, who said for them to leave their politics at home, and that was Phil Rowe. There were a lot of Republican politicians that were at that. I believe it was the Reagan Day dinner that I heard him say that at. And here's my thing, right? Let me read all these. Jesus, because people are like,
you got a lot of them.
Yeah, I think the thing that's really important, right, is the folks who do want change have to learn how to organize effectively, right?
Yes.
And not for nothing, that's one thing we did well with Ballad, right? We organized effectively, and it takes consistency though, right? It can't be hit or miss. So what it's going to take is people who truly want change. I saw Brian comment, Walliver. He said, change will not happen until change is voted in. It's a broken record of the same people in the same positions. I agree. So here's what has to happen.
It's nepotism. Everybody around here is related. And look at the school systems. It's just cousins and aunts and brothers and sisters. Like, where the hell is the competition? Like, we claim, there's no, Kingsport is not competitive.
Candy Gerald is still in Kingsport. Candy Barnett was asking, "Are you still in Kingsport?" He's in Kingsport. And
but I'm having to move to Knoxville for more competition.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm having to move to Knoxville.
So because you're actually going to leave the area entirely.
I have to go to Knoxville for my kids so they can get the opportunities that they want, because Kingsport's not providing for them like they used to. So I have to make the decision to, relocate. I just built a house in Kingsport. It's going up for sale in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I'm seriously, I have to leave. I may come back when my kids are done, but it is not the place for my kids. I see why kids get in trouble. I see why kids have nothing to do. We have crime. We have kids shooting at police officers out here. They're stealing cars.
I'm not going to go into it tonight because it's for another broadcast, but I was doing research on the population health metrics for the region. And it's really the numbers in terms of children living in poverty, the numbers of children experience abuse, the number of drug overdoses in Sullivan County is crazy compared to the rest of the state.
We're ranked in the nation. I know we got we're probably like the top 3 counties in Tennessee as far as opioid abuse. Like,
Yep.
I used to talk about this all the time on my page, and like I've even asked, like I've tried to throw out there where we need more faith-based rehab facilities. Nobody wants to take that on. I'm like, everybody comes to this Bible Belt and have all these Christians.
Wait, if you go back and look, let me take this. Did you know that there was actually a plan for a separate company to open a rehab facility? And at the time, Mountain States Health Alliance and ETSU banded together to block it. So follow me. They did. You can look it up. Hold on. You know I got receipts. So hold on a second.
I know you are the receipt queen.
Yeah, hold on a second, because they sure did.
You got a receipt for the $1 pack of gum you bought the other day.
I'm just telling you, because it matters. So this is the thing. Like, you want me to believe that you give a damn about the people in this region, but y'all are literally, because they were fighting the certificate of need. There was another company that had filed for a certificate of need with the Department of Health, and ETSU and Mountain States joined forces to combat it. And it was a rehab facility, which we definitely damn need. So
man, we need a bunch of them.
Yeah,
we need it.
Okay.
But nobody wants to take on that. Nobody wants to take on that hard job. Like, nobody wants that.
I don't believe that. I think that there are people. I believe that there are people who will take things on. I agree with you. Candy Barnett said not everyone is religious, so they're not going to want to go to a faith-based organization and just to be judged even more. I agree.
It's not even about religion, but like, we live in an area where they'll write a homeless man a ticket for sleeping on a bench.
Listen,
like, this is where we live.
No, you live in an area where they will put blocks on the bench to keep the homeless man from laying on it. That's where you live.
And I think they still out there on the benches. Like, this is what we live in an area. This is how they treat our homeless population here. But like, this is what they do.
And then I want to talk about how big of a Christian they are. Right? This is my thing. You want to talk about this region is so big about being a Christian. What'd you hear Mark Vance say? Well, I love the Lord and I'll stand with Jesus. That's what he said in that little interview. Well, I'm going to stand with Jesus. Well, when did Jesus ever say, let the war begin? When did Jesus ever say, well, I hear you're from Muslims? Here's a newsflash. Jesus was from the Middle damn East. Why are you talking, Mark? Right? He was a brown man. But they will use that religion to justify doing things that Jesus would not do and would not endorse.
They don't even have the passion enough to follow through with the real plan.
No.
Like, a lot of our leaders are really followers. They're just followers of the regime, like they're not passionate like we are. We don't get no money for what we do.
Nope.
We don't even we don't do it like that. We are really out here.
Let me correct you. I used to not get no money, and right now I don't. But listen, after I film these 6 TV episodes next month and we get that damn distribution deal, yeah, listen, here's what
I'm gonna subscribe to it.
Here's what I learned. Here's what I have learned in all of this. Listen, these folks making tons of money hurting people. These folks are making money hand over foot hurting people. Why the fuck shouldn't I make money for helping people?
Pretty much.
I'm just saying. So you know what? If I can get a larger platform, if I can reach more people, if I can do and I can eat and take care of my family and I ain't got to worry about it. Listen, I sat out there at Holster Valley while they repossessed my car for folk who don't even like me. Because it ain't about whether you like me or not. It is legitimately about what is the right thing to do. And it is not the right thing to do to have a medical monopoly. It is not the right thing to do to shut down Michael Gillis or arrest him. It is not the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's crazy. Michael's crazy. That's crazy what they did
Yeah,
to
you
Michael.
don't put up social media posts saying "let the war begin" and then say, "Well, I'm just gonna follow my Jesus." Jesus did not say "let the war begin." That is not it. He's the peacemaker. So,
Hey, you shit, damn, you be blasting them.
well, because it's the damn truth. And listen, okay, I don't come after regular folk, right? If you are a regular person living at home and you put up racist stuff and you put up whatever, I don't come on your page and say nothing. But let me just say this. If you are a politician, if you are running a healthcare company, if you are running major corporations that is causing harm to people, you are fair game and I am coming for you. It is all about, for me, accountability,
Your
authenticity,
phone navigation.
advocacy, and action. Those four things: accountability, right? Authenticity,
Yeah.
advocacy, and action. That's it. And so I want to be clear because we're reaching our hour and we're about to wrap up. We're gonna have to do this again. We're gonna have to do it again. But I just want to be clear for the record, because I know you said it once, but we're gonna wrap it up and I'm gonna let you say it one more time. So Gerald Sensabaugh, do you still endorse Sullivan County Commissioner Mark Vance for mayor?
Hell no. And I'm gonna have to do a post tomorrow to really clarify it. So I'm
Appreciate
gonna share
it.
this video. I'm gonna share this video tomorrow, first thing in the morning, and hopefully, the people will get more clarification. And and hopefully we freaking get some candidates, or even a write-in candidate. Who cares? I don't know. Is it too
As
late to
long
even
as
put
there's
in a
enough,
petition?
as long as there's enough for that person to win, right?
Is it too late to get a petition to run?
Yeah, it had to be filed by the 11th, I believe.
Oh God, they waited too.
I believe it was the 11th. Listen, if I had known you supported it before the 11th, I'd have been like, hey, but we got to do it when we do it. So let me wrap it up by saying this, folks. I'm keeping it 100%. These are the things that I am passionate about for this purpose, right? So what you heard Gerald and I do tonight was some dialogue and some original discourse. And at the end of the day, there's understanding, there's respect, there's the ability for people to grow and learn. And to me, that's the purpose in doing this, right? I'm not dragging Mark just to drag Mark. No, I truly do not believe he can adequately represent all groups of people, specifically not women and specifically not BIPOC individuals, Black, Indigenous, people of color. I truly do not believe that based on his social media posts and the things that he said. So if that's what I believe, and I have the ability to respond, then I'm going to do that. So here's what I'm going to ask you guys to do. Let me throw this up here real quick. So y'all know I have an incredible opportunity. There's an individual who owns a film studio in Atlanta. It's called Encore Films. And there's a production part of that company called Encore Performances. And they have backed me and said, hey, we think you do great content. These are necessary. Let's create a TV show. So we are scheduled to begin filming next month. Right now, the studio has covered the majority of the startup costs. We do have to pay for production, the camera people, the camera equipment, like the time that we're going to be there filming. So if you go to that website right there, oops, it's the Danny Cook Show. Shit. See, I got to fix my own banner. Hold on, y'all. Let me fix it. Let me fix it. The Danny Cook Show. And support. And so here's what you can do. It doesn't matter how much it is or whatever, but you can go to the donate page and you can donate. You can either donate anonymously or you can donate as a sponsor or just as an individual, and your names will be shown at the end of the episode. We'll be filming 6 episodes next month. And let me just say this, Angela, thank you for your donation today. Stacy, thank you for your donation today. Let me keep going. I got to keep going. Todd, thank you for your donation. Lisa, thank you for yours. Kimberly, thank you for yours. Brad, thank you for yours. Those are the ones that have come in so far. That money goes straight to the film studio to cover production costs. I just think that if we can bring light to the things that are happening on a larger scale, we can create much needed change in the region, in the state, in the country. And that is what I'm all about. We got to change the systems and the hearts and minds of the people who create and uphold the systems. So make sure that you guys are following on social media. Follow me, follow Gerald. So the platforms are on Candy. So there's the Rantings of Danny page is the broadcast page on Facebook. I have another public page, which is also Danny Cook. It's my Danny Cook writers page. And then it's also on YouTube as well. So that's where you should be able to see some of the YouTube comments you might not be able to see. Other than that, let me say this. Appreciate you for coming on, Gerald. Appreciate you for taking care of the babies and giving them something to do. I think that's valuable. Also, do your damn research or hit me up. I got you. Don't be giving out no random ass endorsements again.
And I appreciate what you do, and I appreciate you having me on and keeping me grounded, and just giving me just more perspective, because I need that. I don't know everything, and I'm always trying to learn. And I appreciate what you do, and it's been a hell of a learning experience. And I love following your page, and
that's why I told you when you got on.
Listen,
I'm about to give you some context for this conversation. You were like, okay. I said, yeah. I'm about to bring it for you.
The thing is, I remember all this. It's just in the moment, I just forgot all about it because I was just so happy that they brought something for the kids in our area.
Right.
So,
and I get that, right? And I think that that's a good thing, right? So this is the way that I view this, and I'll share this before we go. So I don't believe that there's good and bad people. I think that there are people, and sometimes they do good things, and sometimes they do bad things, and
opportunists.
Right. And well, I'm just saying. And so for me, I have to look at them and see what outweighs what, right? So for me, I look at the basic core. And if the core says, I think less of a particular group of people for exercising their rights. If the core, what's up, Janya? If the core, is, I'm going to call women who march dumbasses. Yeah, like you're not for me. You're not for me, because I don't have to agree. I'll give you a perfect example. I do not agree that the KKK should put on white hoodies and march down the damn street, or with their tiki torches or whatever they wear, right? I don't agree. I find it offensive, right, that the KKK can go down the street, and yet that is their American God-given right to do so. Not God-given, but it's their American right to do so, right? Given to them by the Constitution. Therefore, it is what it is. I can't. So that's one of the reasons why when people get mad about NFL players kneeling or college people kneeling or exercising your constitutional rights, listen, that's your right. I don't got to agree with it. I might think it sucks, but guess what? And it might even offend me. But at the end of the day, that's why we have a constitution. That's why we have the rights that we have. And so I have to say what I have to say when it's time. And so to me, somebody who says women who march are dumbasses, somebody who says let the war begin when we are having a conversation around race, yeah, like you're not my guy.
Anybody that's bold enough to put that on a social media platform is got some issues.
Yep. And then he blocked me because he got tired of it. And then people still was screenshotting stuff and sending it to me. So, but anyway, it is what it is. And I can tell you that some other things happened. Like I was threatened over Mark Vance, literally, not just me, but my mother. There was someone who came into my inbox and threatened, and literally mentioned Mark by name, and told me to shut up about Mark Vance, and threatened the physical well-being of me and my mom. That's a fact.
For real?
Yeah. There's a court case coming because of it. For real.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah. So that's how real it got. So I'm strong in my convictions and what I believe, but I do appreciate you jumping on. I do appreciate you being willing to listen and to be able to say, you know what, I got to take it back. Because I can't force support. Yeah, so I appreciate that, because there are some people that double down when they shouldn't, and so I appreciate you for at least not doubling down, and taking it back and doing the right thing. So I'm going to get off of here. and say good night, y'all. People, tell Gerald bye.
I see you guys.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all follow
I'm
Gerald.
almost home myself.
Gerald Sensabaugh, number 43. And I'm going to take you off of here. I'm going to mute you. Okay, here we go. So for those of you guys who have been with me, I appreciate you all very much, as always. Tune in on Thursday. Thursday, I will be talking about, some ballot stuff, some Eastman stuff. I might have some stuff in the works. And it'll be relevant, I am going to touch some more on the Ahmaud Arbery case. I think that that's important. Thanks, Brian. I appreciate you guys tuning in. I really do believe that change will happen in the region, and I believe that it has to, right? There is a reason that I came back when I came back. There is a reason that, people are starting to say, this is not cool. This is not okay. We want change. We need change. Right. You're very welcome, Jenna. And so I don't think that these things would be happening if the region wasn't ready for it. So I just have this belief system that says things don't come up for you if you're not ready for it. So all of this friction that you see in the region, right? All of that, it's an indicator that the region is ready for the change. You can expect some opposition to it. You can expect some resistance to it, but it is happening, and it will continue to happen the more people band together, the more people speak up. The more people, Candy Girl, you can go ahead with that. I ain't moving back, but I'm just saying I did my time. But maybe it will be a place where I don't dread going back to, because I do. Like, I don't feel good coming home, and that doesn't feel good, And for me to truly feel like it's not a place where I would want my grandkids to grow up, that matters, the fact that they called my son-in-law the brown boy at work, right? The fact that they called the police on my Hispanic son-in-law because he was sitting outside of a ballot held urgent care waiting on us to arrive with Bella matters to me. It matters to me that he was simply sitting in his car waiting on us to arrive, right? So these things matter. How you vote matters, who's running matters. And even if now you don't have the best candidates or the most ideal candidates, so what? Start organizing right now. Start planning for the next election, and then start doing what you can to make sure this one has the least negative impact possible. Biden wasn't my first choice, but I damn sure wasn't voting for Trump, right? So sometimes you have to take the lesser of all the evils, and figure out what that is, and then start preparing for the next times. Got any tips on organizing? Sure, absolutely. I think so. There are things that I found to be very, very helpful. So for one, I was able to use social media in a way that a lot of people haven't been successful doing, and I'm very grateful to that. For that. I think we also set up like regular meetings, regular communication. It can't be half-assed, Candy, right? So when you're organizing, you have to be on a committed schedule. You have to tap into the issues that invoke emotion from people, right? So when I could talk about the NICU, when I could talk about babies and things like that, it got people's attention, right? So what are the issues that people can get passionate about, right? What are the issues that rile you up? Okay. Because you need passion to be able to do this, because the work is hard. The work is tough. It costs a lot, and it is so worth it. Absolutely. Bill Lee needs to go. So I'm a big believer in dialogue and discourse, right? And Teresa says, you must be totally honest with folks. Listen, like me or hate me, I'm always going to be authentic about what I believe and what I don't believe. Always. Always. And I think that matters, because even if people don't agree with you, they'll respect you for sticking to your truth and standing up for what's quote unquote right, you know? And I think that matters. I think that people, we have this saying in sales, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And I think that one of the reasons I was very successful with Ballot is because people knew that I cared. And when people could see that I cared, then it made them care too. And it got people to do things they'd never done before and never thought about doing before. Hell, it got me to do things I'd never done before. So that's the key, right? Is finding the things that we're passionate about and being authentic in them, being committed to them, and showing how much you care. Why are these things important? Why are these things important? They're important because we are literally shaping the world that we live in and the world that our children and grandchildren live in. And we can't be lackadaisical about it. We can't be lazy about it. We can't say, oh, well, that's your problem. You go fix it. We can't. Yeah, my Bella is my everything. Yep, you got her name right. I was just looking at her pictures yesterday, just yesterday. And hold on and I'll show you. I had pulled up these 3 pictures just yesterday, 4 pictures actually. Let me see if I can turn it so y'all can see. So this was her at Holston Valley Medical Center. That was her. See her little bitty hand gripping me? You can see her ribs. Y'all, her skin was so thin, we could see her heartbeat through her skin. That's how tiny she was. Right? Look. And she's so freaking perfect now. She's so perfect now. So again, it matters. It matters that they closed that state-of-the-art NICU that saved her life. It matters that there are staff that was their God-given gift in life, and they don't get to do it. It matters that the state of Tennessee is sitting on $4 billion damn dollars. $4 billion of a rainy day fund. Bill Lee needs to get the hell out of office quick and fast. How do you sit on $4 billion while rural hospitals close? How do you sit on $4 billion while children don't have access to medical care? How do you sit on $4 billion when people don't have insurance? How do you have $4 billion and you just let people suffer? Yeah, you're not a leader to me. You're not a leader to me. Needs to go. And listen, I will come home and help. I ain't living there, but I'll come home and help y'all do some stuff. You let me know. Organize some events. Like if y'all really want to do it, organize some events. I'll promote them. I'll come home. I'll come speak. I'll give you stats. I'll help you with research. But y'all got to do the work too. Y'all got to do the work too. Okay. I will see you guys Thursday night, 8:00 Eastern Standard Time. Be amazing, be light, be love, y'all. Okay. I'm out of here. Peace.